What's up, guys? So today we're going to be removing the core support off the wagon. I already took the wiring harness out of it and took most of the air dam pieces. I still got one piece left to take off over there. And then we're going to remove all the accessories that are left. So water pump, power steering pump, and just the accessory brackets, like that bracket where the tensioner is and the bracket where that ignition coil is. We're going to take it down to the timing cover. I don't want to take the timing cover off yet, because I want to degrease the front of the engine with it on there, because I don't want the stuff going in the oil pan. So we'll remove that after I degrease it and paint the sides of the block. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this core support here. Huh. It's not the same size as the nut on top. Not budging. Alright, that's one. Let me see if I can find bushings. Since I'm taking it off, might as well replace the bushings. Don't know if I'm going to be able to find any or not. I need to punch in a hammer too. Knock that the rest of the way through. And I want my socket. It's really in there right. Need to make sure I take these off and put them back on the way that they go stacked up. Man, that thing is not gonna come out. Okay, so it looks like it's threaded into this piece as well. All right, there you have it. That piece was started too. So I'm just going to stick that back together the way that it came apart. Where is it? I think that was underneath. I really doubt I'm going to be able to find that or any of these bushings really. There's not a really big aftermarket base for these cars with this kind of stuff. Mechanically, you can get pretty much everything minus the transmission cooler lines. I don't know why nobody makes reproduction transmission lines for these cars. That's why I'm probably going to go with some braided stainless steel ones and AN fittings, because mine are a little rusty looking. They're not leaking yet, but they're gonna soon. So Yeah, it's gonna hit the other side. It's nice and Ford to put this hole in the top of the core support so you can just drop a ratchet and extension right there. Dang, that one had 4 shims. The other one over there only had 2. Alright, let's get that thing off there. I'm taking this off because there's a couple spots that are just hard to get to, rust-wise, to clean this thing up. I'll show them here to you. This spot here, under the mount, where it bolts to the frame, you can't get to it unless you take this off. So I had to take that off so I can get to that and clean it up. And then I'm also cleaning up the fronts of the frame here, and you couldn't really get to it where it was underneath there. So, had to take it off. And it'll make it easier for me to work on the front of the engine here, so. So there's 2 ways you can do the power steering pump on this car. You can pull the pulley off with it on here in the car, and then you can take the bolts out because the bolts are behind the pulley. Or what I like to do when I do these, it's way easier. You can go ahead and remove this whole accessory bracket for the power steering and put it in your bench vise and then pull this off and then take it out. It's just so much easier. You have more control over it when it's in the bench vise. But we're gonna go ahead and unhook that and drain it because it still has power steering fluid in it. Maybe, yeah. It leaks a little bit. I replaced all these lines once and it still leaks. It leaks from the return line down there on the bottom of it. You might wonder why I'm going through all this trouble and I'm not touching the head gaskets. Well, I've never had issues with the head gaskets on this car, and it has 220,000 miles on it, and this isn't the end game I want for this car. I'm just fixing this motor up now, cleaning it up so I can take it to car shows and stuff. Eventually my end goal for this car is to buy one of them 5.0 Coyote on a pallet, like turnkey. You can start it and run it on a pallet and drop that in it because I think that would be sweet for a repower for this thing. Unless, you know, everybody's like, oh, LS swap it, LS swap it. LS swaps are cool. I don't mind them. As long as they're in a Chevy car. I'm a real firm believer of keeping brands in brands. It's a Ford car, so it's going to get a Ford motor. Hose does not want to cooperate with me. Doesn't really matter if I rip it because I'm going to replace it, so. Oh, you're going to make me get under there, aren't you, car? Saving my own aggravation, I'm just going to cut that thing. Alright. And I ripped my glove. Alright, while that drains, we will start unbolting it. Shouldn't be that much in there to drain. Alright, let's see what we're going to start with here. I think we'll start with getting this water pump pulley out of the way. that's the other reason I wanted to get rid of it. I'll get that out of the way. Because now I can just sit here on the bumper. We're gonna have to remove that crank pulley too. Harmonic balancer has to come off too because I'm changing the timing cover gaskets eventually, so we're gonna have to get that out of the way too. That'll be fun. This will go in the crate for stuff I need to get sandblasted. I think I'm just gonna stick these back in for now so I know where they're at. The water pump is still good. I don't have no play in it and it don't leak, but you know, since I'm going through all the trouble to clean everything else up, I figured I'd just replace it. I mean, hell, I replaced this thing. It's probably been 8 or more years ago now. So, I mean, can't hurt, right? All right, we'll start removing these other brackets here. Now see, the crazy thing about these is, to change the water pump, you gotta take all this stuff off anyway because all of it's held on at one point or another by the water pump studs. All right. I believe that's everything for the power steering pump. I've got to unhook this line here. Need a line wrench and do that. That's the wrong one. It's got some more leaking out of it. We'll let that leak out a little bit. If you ever work on an old Ford car like this, you will learn to hate the way they made their clips back then. It's so stupid. They couldn't just make a simple, oh, push down and pull apart. No, you got to pry up on it and try and pull apart at the same time. It is a royal pain in the rear end. Get this guy off here. Alright, let's go ahead and get this off here and in the vise. I'll show you guys how to remove this. They make a tool that removes it and installs it when you're ready to put it back on. This is the reinstaller part of the tool. And this is the puller part. So what you got to do is, this little sleeve comes off, and then these come in half, and you put them on here like this, whichever one your pump needs. Put it all together. Put that piece in there, put those in there. Put the sleeve on. Tighten it back up. Get a wrench to hold there, and you can hit that with the impact. Remember. You don't like the way that fits. I think it's metric. It's probably like a 18 millimeter maybe? Nope, 19. Now, probably should have figured all this out before I put it on the pump, but too late for that now. Yeah, it feels a lot better. So then you just tighten it down and it'll pull it right off. Like so. And there you have it. And then you can get the 3 bolts out to hold your pump in. gonna put these back in here so we don't lose them. Put this in the parts washer. Go ahead and soak it in some degreaser. If I can find the degreaser, I don't know where to do it. And we'll just let that soak. All right, I think that's all we're gonna do for today, so I will see you guys later.